Yes, it is Marvel Contest of Champions news, and this is a very special Marvel Contest of Champions news because the 3rd of June marks the 1-year anniversary of Marvel Contest of Champions news. MCOC news has been at that point where it reached a year. I can't believe it. I'm quite excited with that fact, and obviously want to keep on going with the same energy. And actually, like, Marvel Contest of Champions news has seemed to, in the last couple of weeks, gone from strength to strength with regards to you guys. You guys have supported Marvel Contest of Champions news. You've kept on kind of like sharing, as well as kind of like, I don't know what you've done, but you've done an amazing job, and you've helped the views and also reach out to the community, because it's not always about the selfish aspect of it being like, hey, this is successful for me, but at the same time it's providing information to the community, which is great. That's really what I wanted to do with this. There's so many things on so many different outlets. There's so many things in the forum not put into one bite-sized chunk for people, and at the same time there's people's voices not being heard. And this is what Marvel Contest of Champions news is all about, is providing that element of news, coverage in the community, and a voice for people that may not have a voice. That kind of benchmark to go, hey, well, if Kabam aren't listening to us, at least somebody is. But I digress. Let's cover these two news stories, and then what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of an anniversary, kind of see where the news has come from, where's it planning to go, and some other kind of random videos. Let's get into the news. Our first story up is all about dungeons. Marvel Contest of Champions on their Twitter page have asked for feedback with regards to the dungeons. Oh man, in some ways I can see that being a good thing, but you know, it's going to open up for a lot of this stuff. There's been one or two like nice things, but obviously as we go down the list, there's a lot of stuff that yeah, people are kind of like, they're voicing their criticism about. The main thing is that it's time consuming. It's time consuming to get the rewards. A lot of people are saying that the rewards aren't really good enough. And obviously you can take your own opinion from this and kind of give your own opinion in any case. So you can go to this link. It's going to be in the description, and you can go to this and have your say on the matter. It may help out the developers. Doesn't mean to say you're going to be answered, but at the same time, a lot of it does seem to be about it being such a time grind. There's other elements like, you know, you're one type of skilled player versus another. You don't know if the other person's going to be skilled when you link up and find the partner. This is why I think it's important to have a dungeon buddy that you regularly kind of communicate with. You know exactly the same time you're going to be grinding out, but also at the same time you both understand that shit happens basically. It's never going to be each time that things are going to be successful. I've had times when lag's been terrible. I didn't even know for a good month that the evade back and block bug was a bug. I thought that it was a case of I was playing bad, but it was a case of like, if you do that, if you kind of swipe back when you evade and hit the block, you're going to be hit. So that was frustrating to kind of find out that that was a bug, because I was going like, hey, you know, what's the deal with this? Either way, you know, it's a bit annoying, but dungeons, I think, may make a return at some later date, but it's hard to know when. Hopefully Kabam take the feedback from this and develop something that is really tailored to the player base. Next up, somebody sent me this on Twitter, and I thought it's probably best to kind of like form a little bit of a news article around this, because there is a bigger picture to this. And he basically says that, you know, there's been a lot of kicking from alliances. There's a lot of stuff with regards to players and people retiring from the game. And it's just a case of like addressing this. So some people and players do reach a point where they go, I've either had enough of the bad luck, or I've had enough of certain issues with the game. At the same time, I'm unhappy with the grind time. And at the same time, I've been playing for too long. I need a change. And that happens with any game in general. There is a little bit of kind of a micro culture, especially with the most competitive elements of the game, requiring people to be online at certain times, and that is causing a lot of players to go jump ship, so to speak. That's where the kind of retirement things come into play. Also at the same time, those intensive grinding things, say for whatever reason that someone in your family dies mysteriously, and you're like, oh, this is devastating, I need to focus on this, and you don't focus on the game because that's life. Chances are, and the thing is, no disrespect to any alliance, and at the same time no disrespect to the person and the person's affected by the person dying, but they will have to theoretically kick that person, even though they don't really kind of have any connection to that unforeseen circumstance. They need to progress further as an alliance. That one person does affect 29 other people, and especially alliances becoming really hot on things like being really hot on not dying in alliance wars. That is a big thing. The higher the alliance you get, you got to make sure that you are amazing at intercepts and evades, and you don't die, and you don't have any mistakes, because that is going to be a sackable offense basically within that alliance. That has been brutally honest with the state of affairs with the game as soon as you get up further in more competitive lights. And that being said, I want to shout out Andrew the Analyzer, because this video just encapsulates that perfectly. The state of affairs, like him just going on a break, and it's a case of like no message, no warning, no nothing. It's a case of you're gone. Now, gone are the days with regards to the account sharing or account piloting, whatever you want to call it, which was that kind of midway point between, you know, people having that little bit of breakaway because people were able to cover the accounts. And again, like that again changes the scheme of things with regards to the game. A lot of top players are finding themselves come down to lower alliances. And again, no disrespect to that, and I think they aren't really kind of overly bothered, but it is very noticeable. A lot of people and players that I've been talking to recently have said, hey, that we've had like people that used to be in like tier 1 master and stuff with alliance war seasons coming down to lower alliances, and kind of like, you know, either kind of go, right, why isn't this more structured here, and why is this more structured there? And it's like, man, like whatever happened up there is different to where it's down there. But I digress. The main thing is to say that, yeah, there are issues with regards to that. People are jumping ship. There's a big reshuffle at the moment, but it's nothing really to be scared about. It's just a case of the game changing with people's motivation of having more of an easier grind in the game than an overly difficult one of having to basically grind out 24/7 for 7 days a week. Anyway, I just want to like point out this moment in the video because it's just so incredibly funny, and it happened like, it looks like it's happened through accident, where and you've got to watch the video. The link is in the description, but I just need to react to this because it's just like, it's so funny. So Andrew falls off of this kind of this wall, and he's lying there. Obviously his phone's fallen as well, and at this point he gets up, and I think he like presses a button by mistake and kind of like launches Siri.
No, you serious? No, Siri. No, Siri, what are you doing here? There's nothing you can help with. Oh. There's nothing you can do. Yes.
It's just that moment of interaction with Siri that's just like, I've had that moment where I've dropped my phone and I've picked it up and like I've been talking like, oh, you bloody phone, and then Siri's then talking back to me. It's just like, it happened completely generically, like organically, and it's just like top notch. But go and watch the full video in the description. And finally, yeah, it's happened. So this is the anniversary of Marvel Contest of Champions news. Hitting 1 year of kind of like doing the news has been like great. It's fantastic to see a series that has been well received by everybody and at the same time has been ongoing. So, you know, I can't thank you guys enough. It's been totally amazing. So MCC News started in its more structured form on the 3rd of June 2017, and obviously it looks like fairly similar to what we're doing now. So that's, you know, like I said, it was bad back. It was really bad back then, to be honest, guys. The sound quality was pretty bad. I didn't have any of the tech that I have now. I was sat down in a very cramped room. This one is a bit more spaced out. I couldn't like get a full kind of arm span in it. It'd be quite weird if I was wearing the same t-shirt, but I'm not, so that's cool. And I think at this time I was just like announcing something with regards to Act 5.2. Man, it does remind me I've got to get my acting gear when it comes to Act 5. I'm way behind with stuff. But really, MCC News has been something that I've been not solely developing, but there's been stuff with regards to covering news bits within the game. I did something called Breaking News back in 2016 with this ridiculous opening title sequence. Oh, and before I go anywhere, check out this unit deal. Why the hell can't Kabam do this? And yeah, look at the lead character, Black Widow. This was, I think, around Civil War time. So this is like, yeah, it's just, wow, it's got a long time ago this, but that's well over 2 years. Yeah, not a lot has really changed. Well, no, I say not a lot has really changed. I don't know why I said not a lot has changed, but yeah, a lot has really changed from these videos. And links to these videos will be in the description if you want to go back and get some nostalgic RTM. And also over the years, you can see like how things have really kind of changed. I don't know why I kind of like them cut off here. I'm still trying to look see if there's going to be a point where I'm actually wearing the same type of t-shirt. I think I'm wearing a Wolverine t-shirt, so just reminds me how old some of my t-shirts are that I do need to kind of replenish them with new things. Now, I'm not the only one to do like Marvel Contest of Champions, like news things. A lot of other different players that do YouTubing, they have done similar things, but I think that the way that I've tailored mine and the way it's delivered is good, but it could be better. So this was kind of the ideas, like what I wanted to cover as I was going forward and coming up with the ideas for future news structure. And through doing Marvel Contest of Champions news, I was able to have a little interview with Al Ewing. Al Ewing is the creator of Guillotine, which obviously he created in conjunction with Kabam on this. This is an amazing interview. It's like one of my favorite videos, even though it doesn't have like so many views. The fact is, it's one of these passion pieces that I'm really proud of, in that I put together a massive script of questions and structured it with regards to what to talk about with Al Ewing. And Al Ewing has created some fantastic work. He's done some things for Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket Raccoon, something to do with the Avengers. I think he's done a new kind of branch of the Avengers, especially some new stuff that he's developing is fantastic. And he's a writer for Marvel, so that was really cool to have this amazing person give me some time to interview him on Guillotine. And we even talked about the idea of a Guillotine film, which I think would be really cool. And I've kind of tried to kind of like work in some stuff, and I really would like to kind of explore more history with that character, even like Morningstar, which I think in some ways, like name wise for Kabam, it's actually a terrible name. As my girlfriend says, it sounds like a My Little Pony. And it's just like, it's a stupid odd name like Morningstar. Either way, I'd like to kind of like write something, and that will be another thing. Like I would like to write a graphic novel, or maybe kind of work on a comic book series to expand out the Guillotine universe, because I like all the stuff with the French Revolution and also the present day stuff that you could interwork with Guillotine. But anyway, I digress. That's something as a passions piece in the future I'd like to do. And quickly on to the future. What do I want to see out of MCC News? Well, I will be making my decision in January of next year. I'm probably going to work on some improvements to the channel. I want to have a look at getting a new software editor in order to make sure that we can change up. Like I really want to develop the look and feel of my videos, and by doing that I have to invest a bit of money, so I need a new computer. It could be a case that I'll get a Mac, I don't know, and then it's a case of getting like Adobe and stuff like that, and trying to really push the presentation to you guys so things look really on point and look like they're developing for the new year. So that's the plan in January, but I will be making my decision whether or not I choose to play the game any further. I reach 4 years of playing Marvel Contest of Champions in January of next year, so I'll have to kind of really assess, like, is the game going anywhere that's exciting? At the same time, am I enjoying myself with the game? And that will have to be the questions that I'll have to ask myself, and whether or not I want to continue on, and whether or not I start spending more money or spending money in the game, because I decided not to after the trash that I got after Sabretooth. It really made me think about the kind of the value of champions and kind of like developing my characters in the game, and how maybe a free-to-play aspect may be a little bit better in the interim, but maybe not in the long term. But I would like to see how it goes. I really would like to think positively that I could push to 2019, and then next year focus on getting to New York Comic Con, because it does feel that I may miss the boat, so to speak, with that, as I want to improve the channel for the appearance of you guys, like when you watch the channel, that it looks good, and I just don't think it does. But that's me being overly specific and very perfectionist with this. As well, I hit 20,000 subscribers, which is really cool, and I say this every time. I'd like to give my personal thanks to Yeet OS. I leave a link in the description to go to his channel, give him some love, because he was the person that did the same for me. As when I was kind of like just bumming around doing videos covering World of Tanks and Marvel Contest of Champions, he then like said, hey, you know, check out this guy, and that then started off a little bit of a kind of the ball rolling with people finding my channel. So Yeet OS, thanks very much, Yeet, my man, thank you. So there we have it, guys. That has been the 12 months, the 1 year anniversary of Marvel Contest of Champions news. Thank you for your ongoing support, your liking, your subscribing, your sharing. It's been great. Hopefully that I've done a solid for the community with regards to providing information. At the same time, you know, bringing stories together. And there's some ones that stick out in my mind. The UAE stuff with regards to people in the Middle East not getting the game and kind of kicking up a fuss about that constantly. You know, that was cool because a lot of those people reached out to me and said, like, thanks Rich for kind of making a big deal about this, because we've experienced issues, we've wanted to play the game. That's one that sticks in my mind. But there's loads really where people have kind of like personally thanked me for kind of doing something about something, or kind of raising awareness because there's been no awareness. And obviously for those that I've helped in general, you know, God bless you, God bless you. In any case, thanks very much for watching and continually watching. On to Marvel Contest of Champions news for the next day, and as always I shall catch you on the flip side as my lighting just fails. Story of my life. Goodbye, God bless, and here's to next year.